for many of you, it should either make you like tens of thousands of dollars for the remainder of this year or save you potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars because you're actually having an employee do something that you need to do in your business that you've never done, or you're able to have this either enhance what somebody is doing in your business right now. They're not doing a good enough job to get the results that you need, or replace someone right now.
This is Secrets for Success.
Welcome to the Secrets for Success podcast. I'm your host, Greg Todd. Thank you, as always, for joining me. This episode, I am going to show you guys how to double your money, how to double your productivity using ChatGPT. And I feel very confident doing this episode because I'm actually having to do that like right now. This week, I'm going to a conference. The conference actually starts later on this evening, and I'm going to be at a conference all week. It's actually called the Vault Conference. It's with a guy named Patrick Bet-David, Martha Stewart, Tony Robbins is going to be there. And I'm going for Tony Robbins. But I'm going to be there all week this week. And I have a 24/7 business, right, in SSHC. And I have all my other business responsibilities with the other 4 companies that we run. And I got to still do them. But I want to be present at the conference. So guess what I'm doing? I am doing all of my work in one day so that I can be at the conference the remainder of the week. And I don't think anybody's going to notice anything different. And here is how I've done it. I'm like, wow, I've actually done it. It's close to 2:30. And this is the last thing that I'm recording for the day. And I've done everything that I would usually have to do an entire week in, honestly, a couple hours. I just did a coaching call as well with my clients. So how have I done this? And I've decided to just think of, okay, what are all the ways that I'm pulling this off so that I can have more time to either grow the business or have more time to be able to focus on myself or deal with all the other stuff that I'm dealing with. And so that's what I want to use with this episode. I want to give you 5 different things that I'm using right now that's allowing me to be able to double my productivity, to double my income, to make life a heck of a lot easier on me, and to be able to just create more value for people. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to do this episode. I've also done a YouTube video. If you want to text us YouTube video, okay, just text us YouTube video to 813-534-6453. We'll send you a link to it. But if you just go to my YouTube channel, the video got uploaded yesterday, so you can go, you can see it there. But if you want a link to the video, or maybe I'll even put it in the show notes of this. Okay, but basically here are the 5 different ways. Number 1 is I think most people, look, the reality is this. Most people are using ChatGPT. Most people are also using ChatGPT in a very lazy, unintentional, non-intentional way. Okay. And so I want to show you, if you could use this thing, use it right, you're going to get so much better output from it. And it is going to truly like make your life better. And it's probably going to do things better than you could ever do it. All right. So the first thing is this. Number 1 is you got to ask smarter questions. You know, I've heard this from people before. Better question, better answer. I just did a coaching call with my clients, and the first 2 questions that were asked were such good questions that it led to me like going down this rabbit hole, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, this is the best call we've had all year. Yeah, because like if you give really good questions, you can get really good answers. And those questions only come from doing, right? These clients are doing the thing, and now like they're at that next level and people are like loving it, right? And so it does matter what questions you ask. Like no question is a dumb question. Well, it's not really true. There's some dumb questions, but honestly, no question is the worst question because like you're not even using ChatGPT. So most people, let me tell you what they do. They use ChatGPT and they ask a bunch of vague, generic questions with it. Okay. And you're going to get vague, generic answers. So your job with chat is not to say, hey, can you provide me, can you make me an Instagram caption? Hey, can you write me an email? No, you got to give it some context, okay? And one of the ways that I do this is at the bottom right-hand corner, you're going to see this little microphone. Now, it's the same microphone that you would have on your iPhone or your Android if life has just been so bad to you. Okay, I'm just playing around, all right? But seriously, like use the microphone feature. It records your voice and it dictates your voice at such a high level that is so much better than what iPhone or Google, Android does with their phones. It is so good and it gets everything. So just like talk to it. For instance, like instead of saying, all right, can you give me 5 Instagram posts to do? But give it some context. And if you don't want to type it out, then just use the microphone feature and say something like, okay, you're a marketing consultant for my physical therapy clinic who typically works with females between 48 and 57 that are struggling with pelvic health issues. Can you write me 5 Instagram captions that can help that group of people with some of their pelvic health problems without them having to actually see a healthcare provider? Something actionable that they can do right now. Okay? And if you do something like that, that is going to give you such a stronger response. You guys will see it when I do the YouTube video. I'll do some examples of it. It's going to give you such a stronger response than you just saying, write me 5 Instagram captions. Like, I promise you, it's going to be so much more powerful. Okay? So that's number 1. All right. Number 2, I would say is you got to learn how to build what I call like iteration loops or one-off prompts. Okay. So like, I'm going to give you an example. You guys, if you've been following me on Instagram or whatnot, you see that I've been doing a book, right? Okay. So what it gives me, the output that it can give me for the prompt or me talking to it, okay, that's great. That's called a draft. Okay, that's what it's giving me. It's hearing an output and then it's giving me, or it's hearing my input and then it's giving me an output. Okay, that's wonderful. That is great. But what you want to do is you want to take it a step further. And you want to say, okay, I need some improvements. Can you make this funnier? Can you make it sound more like me? Can you make this a little bit more on edge? Can you tone it down a little bit? And it will do it. It will do it. Don't just take the first draft of what it gives you, okay? Start to go down a rabbit hole with it. Now, here's another thing I see people do. They take the first draft and they say, oh, well, I don't like that. Let me take that up. And then they start manually doing it. Just ask the GPT. Ask the assistant. It will make it better. And every single time you're doing that to it, you're actually investing in it and you're teaching it. So learn how to not just take what it gives you, but learn how to just ask 2 more times. Like, hey, can you make this funnier? Hey, can you make this sound more like me? Hey, can you do this with it? Or can you give me 3 more versions of it? Yeah, I like this one better. Can you add 1 and 3? And then give me 3 more versions of that. Okay. And so instead of you just say, okay, just take whatever it gives me, and then you start to make, you're not investing in the AI. Invest in the AI so it can get to really know you. And it's going to only get smarter from here with regards to how much it knows you. Okay. All right. Number 3, I think most people aren't using it properly for the thing that you all could be using it for, which is your personal assistant. Okay. All right. So please understand this. One of the cool things about like having an assistant, right, is if an assistant is following you around all day, okay, they start to know your habits. They start to know your tendencies. They start to know your style. Okay. And so when they are now talking to other people that know you, they're giving those people context of, hey, you know what? Greg likes things this way. Actually, he wants things this way. He doesn't really like if we're going to send out this thing for an affiliate, he doesn't really like this. He doesn't like things to be too salesy because he knows his audience can kind of get like, thrown off by that. Right. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're giving it the context. Okay. And what you do is when you are talking to one of your, whatever AI thing you're using, at the bottom, and I'll show this in a YouTube video, but at the bottom, you can put an @ okay, and use the @ sign, and you can pull in any of your other GPTs. So I have a personal assistant. I want my personal assistant to talk to my email copywriter. Okay, I have an email copywriter. Okay, great. I just wrote a bunch of emails. Email copywriter. Talk to my social media manager. Okay, I have a social media manager. Okay, social media manager. Talk to the assistant that does my webinars and helps me with that. Make sure they're talking and communicating with one another. It's an ecosystem. So get everybody involved so everybody can be on the same page. Okay. And if you do that, it's just going to create so much better like information. It's going to create so much better data for you. Okay. So So just give it as much context as you can, and it's going to help. Now, one of the other things you can do is this, right? Start tracking the things that you're doing. Like, this probably leads to the next one I'm going to talk about. But start tracking the things that you're doing. One of the biggest things I can tell you guys that I use besides ChatGPT is I use a platform called Otter. Okay, Otter.ai. And so Otter is probably one of the most simplest dictation tools that you can use that is going to help you with starting to get your frameworks down. Meaning that there is this little button, it's just a little microphone. And again, you start using the microphone and start talking about the thing that you're doing. Start creating frameworks for everything that you're doing. But when I used to create frameworks back in 2013, 14, 15, I would have to type them out, or I'd have to write them out on, an 8x11, sheet of paper. You don't have to do that anymore. Just use something like Otter and just say, okay, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I wanted to say. And just start talking. Just talk. It is so smart. It is going to take what you're saying and make sense of it. Okay. And then when you get that information, put it into a Google Doc. Put it into, just copy and paste it. You don't have to write it down. Copy and paste it, and then start feeding it to your AI. Okay. Give it some more context. So either pull from the other AI assistants, if you've done that, which I'll talk about that next, or start dictating the crap that's going on in your head, and then start sharing it with the AI. It's going to give it more context and just make it smarter and smarter and smarter and smarter. Okay. All right. Okay. Before I talk about the last one, which is the GPTs, here, let me say this. Let's talk about how to make you more productive with ChatGPT. Okay. One of the hardest things, I think we all know this, that most of you, the reason why you're making the money that you're making right now is because you're not using your mouth to make money. And the reason why many of you are not using your mouth to make money, I think there's many reasons, right? But let's not talk about the reasons that are going to require therapy. Let's talk about the reasons right now that are practical, very clear reasons. Most of you just don't know where to start or what to say. And one of the hard things I can say about someone that has been doing content and serving people using my mouth for many years is coming up with ideas. Use ChatGPT to come up with ideas. What it does is it sparks my creativity. It's like, all right, sometimes I'm like, oh, what do I do a podcast about? Instead of me just here, what do I do? And then overthinking it, just ask ChatGPT. What should I do a podcast about? This is who I am. This is who I serve. This is what's going on right now. Is there any trending topics? Is there any things that I have said that's going on in my life that maybe I can share with people? Are there any things that could be of value to my audience? You know my audience, right? So are there any things that be value to my audience right now? Okay, how about this? How about that? Are there the offers that you've created, for me? Can I talk about any of those? What's painful to my audience? What do you think that would lessen their pain right now? What's a problem that I could solve for them? Just talk to it like that, and it's going to give you all these different ideas. And you're like, wait a minute. Yeah, I could talk about that one. And it saves you so much time and energy of you just spinning your head, not knowing what to talk about. So use ChatGPT to help you with creating ideas. Use it as an idea generator and to boost your creativity levels. Now you can go off on a whole different avenue with it, but once it gets going, it's going to get your brain going, okay? And it's going to move things forward. All right. And here's the fifth thing, and I think this is the biggest thing that you guys aren't using this thing for, and that is to create custom assistants from ChatGPT. ChatGPT works better when you give it one specific role. One specific role. So instead of asking the GPT to do everything, which is a generalist, ask it to be a specialist. Okay. Now, this is something that I told my students earlier today. When you start a business, and I might have said this on the last podcast, when you start a business, you have to be a generalist, especially when you're getting started. Okay. And for many of you, maybe you've only had one or two or three employees. Pretty much everybody's a generalist. Okay. What I mean by generalist, when I started Renewal Rehab, I didn't have the money to hire a marketer. I didn't have the money to hire somebody to do our laundry. I had to do laundry. I had to be the marketer. I had to be the one that went on Microsoft, what's it called, front page, or I can't remember the other one, but basically I had to be the one to make the flyers. I had to be the one to go from office to office. I had to be the one to go from business to business. I had to be the one that called the patients back. Sometimes I had to be the one that took their information and submitted to insurance. Like sometimes I had to be the one that did all the selling. Pretty much I was always the one that did all the selling. Okay. You guys, that's called being a generalist because that's what you have to do because you don't have the money. You don't have the resources. Okay. But then over time, things change. Over time, it's like, hey, like I don't have to do that stuff anymore. I can hire somebody to do that. Okay. Then it got to the point where I was able to hire somebody to do the billing, to do the collections, to answer the phones, to schedule the appointments. And they were generalists, but then over time, I was able to hire that person to be a specialist, and then they can hire other specialists that all this person is going to do is intake. All this person is going to do is bill. All this person is going to do is collect money. All this person is going to do is this. And over time, you build specialists, okay? And by the way, for some people, they never ever get there. But for many of us, we do get there. It just costs a lot of money. With ChatGPT, you start with specialists from day one. Assign a role to each of the assistants. It doesn't cost you any more money. It's a $20 a month fee, and you can have 500 employees. Coach, editor, strategist, therapist, podcast producer, social media manager, email copywriter, text message, copywriter. You can have as many roles as you want. And here's the beautiful thing is that it works better if you give it one specific job description, one specific role. And if you do that, you're going to get 5 to 10 times better output from ChatGPT. I'm telling you right now, that is the key to using ChatGPT. When you do that, you're able to teach this assistant a couple things. I'm able to, for all of that, you teach it what your brand and your style is. They understand that. You teach it what your frameworks are. They understand that. You teach it its job description, not job descriptions. You teach it how to be a specialist, not a generalist. And then you teach it the instructions, and you give it, if you give a human 17 different instructions, you already know they're going to be pulled in 17 different ways. You give it one major thing, it is going to do that extremely well. Okay. Quarterbacks are awesome. Ask a quarterback to kick a field goal, it ain't going to be too good because you're asking to do something outside. You're asking him or her to do something outside of their specialty. Okay, so that is the key. And I think if many of you use ChatGPT in any of those 5 ways, especially the last one, you'll be able to get so much better results from using it. And it truly will make you more money and save you a lot more time. And so guys, this upcoming Monday, September 15th, I'm going to be doing a training inside of my community on how to build out these custom GPTs. I truly believe that this should add, for many of you, it should either make you like tens of thousands of dollars for the remainder of this year or save you potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars because you're actually having an employee do something that you need to do in your business that you've never done, or you're able to have this either enhance what somebody is doing in your business right now. They're not doing a good enough job to get the results that you need, or replace someone right now. And it is so cheap for you to be able to do this. So I would highly advise you, if you want to learn how to build these, we charge $500 for every custom GPT that we build, set of custom GPTs that we build for our clients. This is inside of our community. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow you guys to access this for free. You will have a 14-day trial of our community. You go to incomeaccelerator.ai/start. If you don't want to buy the community outright for the year, take the 14-day trial, come to the class, learn how to do this, start doing this for yourself. And at bare minimum, you now are able to do something that 99% of people cannot do or will not learn how to do. And you can charge $500 per hour for this. I know this because we are getting paid that right now to be able to do this. Okay. Please, I'm telling you guys, this is probably the best hour and a half that you could spend for 2025 is just to learn how to do this. And after that, like leave. Okay. Cancel the free trial if you want. Okay. Or stay in the community. I'm going to keep on doing this every single month so that by the end of the year, you guys are AI consultants. To me, that's going to pay you triple, quadruple what you're making right now as a clinician. So that's what I want you guys to do. Come inside of our community. We're going to be doing this September 15th. And if you can't even make it live, it's fine. Listen to it on a replay, but start doing this ASAP. And I'll tell you right now, it's going to be a game changer. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you want to see the YouTube video of me doing a demonstration of this, then you'll see the link somewhere in the show notes, or text us YouTube video. Can I see the YouTube video on the AI demonstration of the things you talked about? 813-534-6453. All right. Talk to you guys later.